We buried people, we honored people in Arlington, and the press doesn't even cover it because they're fake news, and they should be ashamed of themselves. That's the question you should be asking, not little trivia.
Hey Jill, you want to get some ice cream?
You had ice cream for breakfast.
Well, no. I'd have it for lunch and dinner every day if I could. What time's the store closed?
5 o'clock.
Oh, come on, man. If we get there too late, they'll sell out a Chukka chip.
Oh, for God's sake.
What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from The Quartering. Another day, another Kamala humiliation. Last night, I was watching Kill Tony. They made fun of her pretty ruthlessly. We're going to take a look at that. A new ad, which is airing in battleground states, absolutely humiliates her. And Donald Trump absolutely roasting an NBC News reporter in front of a live audience. I mean, this is the kind of stuff that election season brings. This is the kind of stuff that I cover here on the channel, along with pop culture, technology news, anti-censorship news. So if you're enjoying my coverage, please do leave a like on the video. And make sure you check out my live streams at 1 Eastern, either over on Quartercast on YouTube or on my Rumble page. We're averaging about 8,000 viewers for our morning show, or our 1 Eastern show now, so that's coming along really nicely. Before we get into this, do you ever get stressed because your monthly income just doesn't seem to cover the bills anymore? Well, you're not alone. Most Americans feel this way every day. Everything is still ridiculously expensive, and we're reaching for more and more for credit cards to cover basics like childcare, insurance, power, and food. It's tough. If you're feeling this way, you need to call my friends over at American Financing. They're helping hardworking Americans just like you tap into their home equity to pay off their high-interest debt and even create some additional savings to be ready for whatever life throws your way. With interest rates dropping, a company like American Financing that never charges any upfront or hidden fees is the perfect partner to help you get in a better financial position. Their salary-based mortgage consultants are saving homeowners over $800 a month on average. Waiting is not an option. Call today. You may delay 2 mortgage payments. 888-879-6460. That's 888-879-6460. AmericanFinancing.net/The Quartering. Links also in the description. Let's get right into Trump roasting the NBC reporter in front of a live audience. One of my all-time favorite things the Don is good at.
I think we're going to do a great job. Who are you with?
NBC, but the pool.
NBC?
Oh my God.
NBC fake news.
Fake news.
Tell me, have you done a story on Afghanistan today? Have you done that story, NBC? You know, the press never talks about Afghanistan, the most embarrassing moment in history. No, but have you done the story? Today is the 3rd anniversary of Afghanistan. Do you know that?
Yep, one more question.
No. Do you know that? She doesn't want to take that. Okay, ready? Today is the 3rd anniversary. I just left Arlington National Cemetery. Do you know that?
Yep.
We buried people, we honored people in Arlington, and the press doesn't even cover it because they're fake news, and they should be ashamed of themselves.
I mean,
You should be asking, not little trivia. I just want to thank you, everybody, very much. Don't worry, you'll never see that on television.
But you will see it on The Quartering, wherever you're watching. Hopefully you'll follow. Obviously, more humiliating news. Again, let me be very clear. The cacklementum, the Kamala phenomenon may be over, but there is a unique kind of anchor facing Donald Trump as he runs for president. And that is 12 years of Orange Man bad. So I think it would be foolish for anybody who supports Donald Trump to think that anything is in the bag. You act like you're 10 points behind at all time, and you can maybe exhale on November 6th or 7th at this point. But it is good to see at least some people are reporting. You see this, Kamala Harris gets 0 boost from Democratic National Convention. Well, that's because everybody that talked was talking at freaking 10 o'clock or later. Kamala Harris leads Donald Trump by 4 points. According to a new Morning Consult poll. Okay, so they pick one poll. It shows Democratic nominee leads Republican 48-44. This is the same margin as before Harris gave her primetime address. That's what I'm talking about. Like, there is some baked in anti-Trumpers And obviously there are baked in blue no matter who's that you just, that you're talking about 35-40% of the vote that Trump was just never going to get ever. And that's the reality of it. But he's got to fight and tooth and nail. But now you get perhaps one of the most hilarious flip-flops yet. Kamala Harris now promising a border wall. This is from a random aide, once again telling people what Kamala supposedly believes. Why can't she do this herself? Kamala wants to be the president of the United States, but will not get in front of a camera. Well, it's because, you see this, holy smokes, they think we're brain dead. If elected president, Kamala Harris pledges to spend hundreds of millions of dollars on a wall along the southern border, a project she once opposed and called un-American during the Trump administration. Colin Rugg, just in, Kamala Harris wants to build a border wall after telling people for years that walls are a bad idea and didn't work. Kamala Harris has also dyed her hair gold and changed her last name to Trump. According to Axios, Harris is pledging to spend hundreds of millions of dollars on a southern border wall, something she once called un-American. Developing further proves further that Harris doesn't actually believe in anything. The Trump campaign has also referred to her as a chameleon because she morphs into whatever someone wants her to be. Here is Harris cackling up at the idea of building a wall.
This issue, because I was a prosecutor for many years, including the Attorney General of California. I specialize on transnational criminal organizations. Yeah. That wall ain't gonna stop them. No.
Yeah, that's why prisons don't work, right? Oops. And this is all just playing very bad for her. Here you see Kamala Harris now says she wants a wall on our southern border if elected. Unfortunately, we have the receipts. Again, Trump needs to be able to bring this stuff up in a debate. You see Ben Shapiro writing good things. She's not answering any questions for the rest of our lives. Yeah. This on top of Joe Biden was seen visibly shaking and struggling to get into an SUV. Secret Service allegedly shielded him from cameras before boosting him into the car. What are we doing here? Why are we ignoring the fact that we are a nation without a leader? Our enemies are watching. This is as Joe Biden disembarked Air Force One. This is a new report. As first reported by Laura Loomer, by the way. In the early mornings of Tuesday morning in his California last week, he was visibly shaking. It was approaching 5:30 a.m. East Coast time, and the president had been awake for almost 24 hours. Walking slowly down the plane stairs, he struggled to step into an SUV, waiting to take him to 8,000-acre Santa Barbara Ranch, where he and his family have just enjoyed a weeks-long vacation. One of his Secret Service agents moved to shield him from watching cameras before giving him a helpful boost into the car. Once on the tarmac, First Lady Jill Biden watched, visibly concerned for her husband, who dropped out of the election race almost a month ago, had just ended an exhausting journey from the Democratic nominee to lame duck president. Here we have Kamala Harris. Now, this is perhaps the most dangerous thing, right? You have Hollywood, like Quentin Tarantino, telling Kamala Harris to continue dodging interviews until election. Don't mess things up. It's about winning, they say. Well, yeah, she's in full-blown hide mode. Kamala Harris's campaign demands a seated debate. Why do they demand a seated debate? A lot of people ask. Because Donald Trump is nearly a foot taller than her, and that historically, I know it's not policy, but that has swayed voters. I'm sure that ABC will never show them side by side. She also wants notes for the event, which is absolutely humiliating. Then we have this Jen Psaki. Here's an interesting part of Jen Psaki, and then we're going to get into Kill Tony roasting her. This is her visibly shaken, visibly upset after Don Lemon, international news reader Don Lemon, revealed to her that most voters he spoke to don't even know who she is.
Well, I shouldn't say Pennsylvania, I should say Philadelphia, was a bit more liberal, and the answers to the questions about her and him were quite different. But for the most part, in Pittsburgh or in at the Jersey Shore and in Atlantic City, in Ohio especially, many people did not know who she was. They weren't familiar with her, so I think she has to reintroduce her.
You know why? It's because she's hiding from the press. Kamala Harris is continuing to hide from the press so that people don't know who she is. The Democrats' literal strategy is they want people to go into the voting booth, have no idea who she is, and just know that she's not Trump. You know, it was good enough for 81 bazillion votes in 2020. You know, the big question now is how will they, you know, make sure they get more votes this time? I don't know. You know, I don't know how Kamala Harris is inspiring anybody to go out and vote. I think, you know, my prediction remains that if Donald Trump wins, it won't be because he gets any more votes. I mean, yes, the RFK endorsement builds momentum, and that one is a strategic win. But, you know, trotting out Tulsi Gabbard and whoever he might be, it won't help as much as the fact that Kamala Harris does not motivate the radical left. It does not motivate the Muslim voters in Michigan, which she needs. And in general, I don't think she motivates kind of your average Joe. Your average Joe doesn't really care. She doesn't inspire people. People don't know who she even is. You know, you see Kamala Harris gets no boost from Democratic convention. I mean, yeah. The media itself, I think, is able to prop her up to a 45% chance. It's that powerful. But then last night, they ripped Kamala Harris on Kill Tony. And even with Whitney Cummings here, who's a raging feminist. Interesting. Now, again, there is some colorful language here. I'm going to try to skip around it, but we'll do what I can. But I do think it's pretty funny.
If you endorse Kamala... If you endorse her, she will let you fuck her. I don't know if you know that. She only fucks people that can help her career at all. Really good news.
You got my vote, bitch.
Yep. Yep.
If you trying to suck a dick or something, let me know.
He is talking directly to you, Kamala Harris.
Is she married? She married?
She is married to a tiny white man who definitely is gay and doesn't fuck her.
I could be the first man. That's what it's called. The first.
I mean, even.
You know what I'm saying? I do that. Real
No,
shit.
you can't be with Kamala. You only fuck black chicks.
What she is?
Again,
Even Whitney Cummings makes that joke.
It depends on where she is.
Yeah, you're not
her
wrong.
ethnicity. She goes from being Indian to black to.
I fuck Indian.
I mean, yeah, this is in Texas, but a lot of people watch that show that are apolitical, and they're making fun of her, which is rare. And then running locally, I just saw it this morning, a genius Trump ad where Kamala debates herself.
Everyday prices are too high.
Yeah.
Food, rent, gas, back to school clothes.
Uh-huh.
That is called Bidenomics.
I mean, they just literally put her debating herself in an extremely effective 30-second ad that's running. It's absolutely savage. It's running everywhere. She's got her high stakes sit down. I am not, again, allegedly, she's going to do a sit down interview before the end of the month. So she has not spoken to the press in over a month at this point, and that means by Friday, she has to do a sit down interview. Do I think she's going to do it? No, I don't. And even if she does, it'll just be completely scripted. The person asking the questions won't ask any tough questions. They won't press her on anything. It comes down to the debate. But as I've always said, 95% of people's minds are made up. It's about turnout. That is how Donald Trump will win the election, maximizing turnout, keeping the energy of his base high, and Kamala can sit there and hide from the press all she wants. People won't even know. People will show up, mark my words, on election day and be like, where's Joe Biden? Why is Joe Biden not on the ballot? And probably just walk right out. It'll be interesting to see how this all plays out. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you leave a like on it. If you haven't yet, please subscribe or follow down below, and we'll talk to you again real soon.